Chairman, and I think you have made the theme of this hearing exactly how we need to open this session of our committee. The theme of my questions really goes to the elephant in the room, the one that's been discussed by all of you to one extent or the other, and that is the failure since 1993 to raise the gas tax. At the end of this session, when even at this opening hearing, we have laid out what amounts to an emergency in needs for infrastructure. At the end of this session, if we haven't gotten over this hurdle, we will simply be repeating ourselves yet again. Look, the cost of gas has gone down for the American people when they go to the pump. I guess I'm going to ask you, Mr. LaHood, because you focused on how you think the time has come. What makes you believe that if the only people I know that don't yet believe the time has come sit in this Congress? What makes you believe that Americans are so ready for an increase at the pump that we could convince members of this Congress to increase the gas tax? What is there about the American people, which must be who they're afraid of?
Thank you, Ms. Norton. I think because we just had an election, and it looks to me like everybody that ran for election, particularly a lot of the new members, ran on fixing infrastructure. And the governor just said he ran on it, had ads run against him on it, and he still won. He told me back when we were sitting back in the ante room there that as they ran more ads against him, his poll numbers went up. You know why? Because people are sick and tired of lousy roads, unsafe bridges, and they want more.
Well, actually, I'm going to ask both governors to comment on this. Now, of course, Mr. Garcetti has recent experience because apparently there was a proposition to keep you from raising the gas tax. And I'd like both of you to describe how you were able to overcome that so members who sit here where the gas tax has to be raised would understand there's nothing to be afraid of.
Well, there really is nothing. Voters in California rejected it by almost 60%, just under 60%, a rolling back of what the legislature had done. As I mentioned, the city of LA, we passed, it's a full cent sales tax that was, I'm not suggesting that at the national level.
Well, what were the salient, for both of you, what were the salient arguments used against it that had to be overcome?
Sure, I'll let the governor continue, but we made it about human beings. People know how long they wait to see their kids and whether they can tuck them into bed. They know they have to draw a line in my city around the radius that they think they can go on a date, so their dating pool either contracts or expands based on the traffic. They know that the jobs they can consider are based on the commute that they have. They know this in human terms, and we always said that, and secondly, we said about the jobs. I loved what Secretary LaHood said. This is a jobs program. Let me restate the number, 787,000 jobs in one American county, 787,000 middle-class jobs. And these are not just one-off jobs for a couple years. This is a career now that we are aligning our community colleges with, that we're training people for. You don't need a degree. They might have put bombers together on the assembly lines in South LA in the past to win World War II. After the Cold War was over, now they're able to put together trains on those assembly lines, dig those tunnels, do things that give them a pension and a decent quality of life. So, and on a note of personal privilege, your grandnephew is going to be at my house, Meredith's son, in about 2 days, so much love from him as well.
Yeah, and Governor Walsh, you too seem to have run on raising the gas tax. I'm interested in you governors who run on raising the gas tax, get elected, and the message doesn't get here to their members here in the Congress of the United States.
Voters are smart, and to be clear about this, people are not begging you to raise their taxes, but the way I framed it was, what is your alternative? It's not as if not raising their taxes gives them extra money in their pocket because they know they're spending it anyway, and they look out and see a crumbling infrastructure, and my frame is, and I'm open to this, what is another alternative? And I want to be clear, as we move to electrification, as CAFE standards go up, the gas tax doesn't hold as big a punch. I also want to be clear is we're trying to adjust for it in working family tax credit because it is regressive to families. So that is a part of this conversation. But I think listening to the Secretary tell you this, the country, you know this, you just ran, the country's ready for that bold take. It's not the gas tax alone, but I'll tell you, as a governor, the gas tax is a reliable funding stream that allows us to plan and get things done. But all of your other bold ideas of moving out, we should be thinking about them.
Thank you very much.
Gentlelady's time has expired. Representative Gibbs.